Hi, this is Gary with GEEZBEEZ. Today I'm going to show you how I install a 5-frame nuke into a 10-frame box, and that's what we're going to do today. I was just going to show you, I went to the resource yard yesterday to check on the nukes, kind of see how they're coming along. We started these nukes about the first part of April, and we started most of them with 1 frame, some of them with 2 frames, and we've built them out and built them up and got them into 5-frame nukes from the 3 frames. And some of the queens have really laid well, and this one was right at 5 frames yesterday. So I'm going to move it into a 10-frame box. And so that's kind of what's going on here. You can see there's a lot of bees in there, you can tell already. I'll open this up and kind of show you what we got going on. But that box is pretty full. So we're going to go ahead and put them in a 10-frame box today. And basically the way you do it is always just face the hive the same way as the hive I'm going to put in. And I take 5 frames out of the box in the middle. And usually I'll take an extra frame on one side to give me some space to work with. And then I just start putting it in just the way it is. Just exactly like you took that and put it in here. They're just really kind of starting to work that frame. So we'll put them in just as is, but from starting from a 2 frame in 1 month's time, this queen has done a good job. So your brood starting there. She's really laid these frames up well. We'll see. If I see her, I'll point her out to you. She ought to be on this or the next frame, but you never know. I didn't really look at those others too hard. I don't see her right off here, but you do see some fresh larvae in there. She's really laid that frame in well also. Pulling that out. You can check for her in the box too, in the lid sometimes. They'll hang out in those areas also. Center your frames up, tighten them up where you've got space on the outside and they're tight all the way through. That's what these frames rest against each other, so you want to make sure you've got them in there, and you'll build that comb out straighter. When I started, I put this over the entrance, just into the entrance, bent it into a V so they couldn't get out this morning. You can do it at night. There's quite a few bees on the inside, so we'll hit them once. And the ones that remain, there's a few remaining, set them by the entrance and they'll make their way in. There's a few on top of the lid there. Do the same with them. There's some on top of the inner cover. Knock them down. There's a lot of stuff in there, so we're just gonna put them towards the front. There we go, empty some of that up. And that's the nice thing about nukes. It's pretty easy to do. And they're usually pretty calm. I will go ahead and put some feed on them. They are bringing some pollen in this area right now, so I'm not too worried about pollen, but I probably will put some sugar water on them just to settle them down a little bit, put them in their new house. And so I will put a feeder on the front. And other than that, that's all there was to that. So I've got another nuke that I pulled from the yard. This particular queen has not been laying very well, and so according to this, the queen, this started out with 2 frames of brood at the beginning of the year. They have come up a little bit. I think they're about 4 when I checked yesterday, but I do want to boost them. So I've got one nuke that started out as a 2 frame, and it's about a 3.5 frame. So I'm going to stick it in there with the new queen. So I've got to find the queen in here, get rid of her, and then I'm gonna add that nuke to it. And as they grow, like that 5 frame we put in, we put those 5 frames in, they're gonna start adding more brood, and towards the outside they're gonna add food. So the way you can tell, usually when I get to be about 7 of the frames get covered, 7 to 8, then I go ahead and put on another brood box on top and let them expand. Or you can put a super on if it's time of year and you want to try to get honey, you can put super on. Either way. I've left the sugar cakes on these guys because they've been pretty weak. Let's see how they built up. I think I was in here yesterday or day before, and they have grown out a little bit. But see there, you can tell they've just really struggled along. And the queen may not even be in here, I'm not sure. I didn't have time to really look for her yesterday, so I will today. Got a little brood going on here, cat brood. It's pretty filled with nectar. Other than that, I'm not seeing her on this frame right off. like an old cell here. Been on there a while. So that's really, I mean, they came out with 2, and I've just waited on this queen to do a little more, and she has not. So we will, I'm not even seeing a queen. I'm not seeing any fresh eggs. So I do think that they have gone queenless. So we're gonna take that other nuke. It's probably 3.5 frames or so. And we'll put it in here with that queen. We'll smoke them real heavy when we put the queen in there. And I think they'll be just fine. So here's, this started out as a 2 frame. It's up to a good solid 3 frames here, and they're working this frame. They're not working this frame. So it's basically a 3.5 frame. They're covering about 3.5 frames. And we'll just start pulling some frames out. I actually are starting on that last frame too, so we'll go ahead and put it in on the outside. Try to keep them oriented the way they were. Boy, she's really done a good job on her frames. You can tell the difference in the frames. She's laying really well on these frames. Once you get up to your 5th frames like this, you can tell when these hatch out, you're going to have a lot of bees. So you really need to be watching them. And normally what I'll do is pull them back a frame or 2 and start another one, another hive, another colony. But with these, I just wanted to get all these built up that I could in the main yard, and this is my last problem hive. Hopefully this will get them fixed up. They'll have this good laying queen. They've got a lot of brood coming on fast, and their numbers should really increase. So I'm not seeing her right off, but I do see a lot of eggs and larvae, so she's in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and just throw these other ones in there, what little brood they've got. Got just a tiny bit on the side. And by kind of trying to keep the older bees on this side and this side, they seem to combine a little bit better. If you don't just mix, you don't want to mix their frames in there. Kind of give them side by side, smoke them pretty heavy, and they'll do just fine. We have one more frame over there that's been drawn out with some bees on it. And I will put just a little bit of feed on these for a day. Kind of get them settled in. And then we'll kind of evaluate them next week and see how they're doing. Well, we've had about 6 inches of rain this week. When you do your nukes, just make sure that when they get spread out, kind of like those were getting pretty maxed out in that 5 frame, if you have an 8 frame or a 10 frame, when they start drawing those last 2 frames out, you need to put them some more space on. So just remember to give them plenty of space, and they'll beard out a little bit when they get a little full, and then eventually they'll get to where they swarm if they just don't have the room. So make sure and give them plenty of space, especially this time of year, because you have a lot of brood that's hatching out fast, so you can have a lot of numbers within a week's time. I appreciate it, and I appreciate a like and subscribe and share it with your friends. Thank you.